Alrighty, okay, I think I'm live. I'm live. Greetings, 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 greetings to each and every one of y'all. I'm gonna give you guys some time to get onto this live feed. Once again, man, YouTube is normally the platform where I do my lives at, but you know, YouTube kind of got me restricted for a minute, actually for 90 days, not for a minute, because you know, once you start spreading certain truths and you know, the so-called powers there be, they don't like that. And I say so-called powers there be, you know what I mean? Because I don't give them power over me. But I'm gonna wait for a few minutes to see who's gonna well, actually we got a few people. So Halito, Osio, Mabwikwa, Sakpase, Sakafet, you know, Shalom. All right, all that's us, you know what I mean? So just gonna, you know, talk a little bit about, you know, what's going on, what's going down, and a couple of things that's happening, a few posts that's making it around, you know, the internet. For now, we know that Brazil is actually on fire right now. Now, I have my own theories on that. To my understanding, you know, the indigenous people won a land claim a few weeks ago. And to me, how ironic, you know, 2 weeks later, that, you know, the forest or the trees are actually on fire. So to me, that's a little bit, you know, suspect, right? But I'm going to talk a little bit about that, and I'm going to talk a little bit about Jay-Z, because for some reason, those are just these people, or topics rather, seem to be what's trending. And to me, I'll talk about the Jay-Z thing first, all right? So in the meantime, between time, I just want to take some time to give thanks to the Great Spirit for, you know, just allowing me to be who I am, you know, just waking me up every single day, man, just giving me that motivation, that determination to come out here and just every day on that constant grind, making an attempt to uplift the people. You know, thanks to my ancestors for assisting me and aiding me with that, because every time I've reached out to them, you know, they have never failed. So I'm fortunate enough to say it's a blissful feeling, you know. But I want to talk about Jay-Z here for a second, and I'm not going to spend too much time on that because, in my opinion, it's all a big distraction, right? But here's the thing, you know, I really want people to get. Hopefully, they'll get it, right? Jay-Z had did a song. Well, I can't remember the name of the song per se, but one of the lyrics, or part of the lyrics, quote, and I think I'm gonna quote that greetings, Sister Olivia and others. I'm gonna see if I could quote Jay-Z, right? Jay-Z said, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman. All right. Now that to me is profound when you know exactly what type of system we are living in. Okay, first let me just explain this. If you don't know what commerce is, then you will not know what Jay-Z meant when he said that, right? You have to understand or comprehend the commercial world, okay, where it's just strictly business. Now, in the commercial world, you're dealing with agents, all right? Go look at the Matrix, right? Who did Neo have to deal with? Who did Morpheus have to deal with? Okay, they were dealing with agents. So that is kind of like, you know, synonymous to the commercial world. I'm not going to use the term straw man, you know, because that's sovereign citizen, you know, lingo. I'm not a sovereign citizen, so I'm not going to be speaking about the straw man. However, I will mention, when I do mention anything in the effects of, you know, the juristic person, the legal person, or in legis, then that's what I'm referring to, okay? The artificial man or the artificial woman, okay? Now, with that being said, you have to know commerce to know what Jay-Z was talking about, all right? Now, Jay-Z had a name that his mother gave him, all right? Now, when you look on your birth certificate, you will see that it says name. What a lot of people may not be aware of is that name, when you go look at the definition of name, one of the synonyms for name is title. So what the registrar or the vital statistics is not telling you is that you have a title, which is the same thing as a name. So it's wordplay, okay? They are playing word semantics, so people don't catch on to what is being done. All right, now let me just say this real quick. This video is only for educational purposes. I'm not here to give any type of legal advice. By no means I'm giving anybody advice. I'm just dropping some facts for you. All right, and anything that I say, you could prove me wrong by doing your own due diligence and doing your own research, but I'm going to point out some facts. All right, so when you look at your birth certificate, so to speak, there is 3 names on your birth certificates, right? And anyone who's familiar with Minnesota Rule 220, Minnesota Court Rule 220, it breaks down, okay, pretty much what you are supposed to do when you reach the age of 18. All right. Now I'm going to repeat that for those of you who would like to do your own searching, because in order for you to do research, first you have to search. And a lot of people don't know how to search. I mean, more or less research, right? So you always have to search something first, then you do some research. And if you like me, then apart from doing the searching, then the researching, then you do some in-searching, all right? That's how in depth I go with my own seeking of knowledge, all right? So with the Minnesota Court Rule 220, I'm gonna paraphrase, right? What it's saying essentially is that there is 3 names on the birth certificate, and each of those names is actually an owner of that certificate, all right? So what is that telling you? Right there and then, that's telling you that the name on the birth certificate, it's not you. It is property. And that property, okay, the certificate is actually property. And the names on the certificate are the owners of that property. Okay? So when, let me just see if I could put that in layman's terms. Well, I'm not going to see. I'm actually going to put it in layman's terms. So, you know, the average grand rising to each and every one of you. I'm going to, you know, not just make an attempt. I'm actually going to break it down to you in layman's terms so you really get what I'm saying, right? Because when I do videos and I do any type of presentation, I love the fact that I'm able to articulate it so that a 5-year-old or 10-year-old could get it. All right, that's how, you know, simple. I like the KISS principle. Keep it simply simple. So I'm going to break that down in layman's terms, right? Your father and your mother came together. They decided that they're going to have a child, okay? Now, the mother may have said, well, you know what? Let's name the child John. The father agreed. John it is, okay? And the so-called last name is Doe. Now, here's a saying, right? Generally speaking, there's a saying that goes, family comes first, right? So if family comes first, then why is your family name last? Okay, that is the first trick. We don't have last names, okay? We have, and I'm using that word family very lightly, just for conversation's sake. I know the etymology of family, what it means servant. All right, I really don't want to use it, but just for conversation's sake, I'm going to use it. So don't take me literal on that, okay? But just so you know what I'm talking about. There's a saying that family comes first. So why is it that these institutions and these corporations, because that's all they are, these corporations are telling you that you have a last name? That is one of the problems that our people run into, because they don't speak the language that these corporations speak. These corporations, they have a language, okay? And pretty much when you deal with the legal world, it's called legalese. Now, legalese may sound like English. It is English, but however, the words that are spoken, they are spoken in a different context as to what they may be perceived in the street, what we call slang, or in standard English, what we learn in school. Okay, so ultimately we speak three languages. We speak slang, we speak standard English, what you learn in school, and then there is legalese. This is where the fork, meets the road, right? We speak slang. The majority of us speak slang. The majority of us speak standard English. However, it's only about 2% of the population know how to speak legalese. So therefore, when a police officer stops you and you're being detained, okay, even more so to the point where you may be arrested, because detainment and arrest is two different things, okay? A detainment and arrest is two different things. Anytime a police officer pull you over and intend to ask you any questions, that's a detainment, all right? But when you ask, okay, am I free to go? And the officer says no, then you're literally under arrest. It's no longer a detainment, but you're under arrest, whether you're in handcuffs or not, because now you are not free to travel and be on your way. All right, so that's one thing that we as a people, we have to know. Okay, so let's talk about the legalese situation. Because they are speaking legalese, it's a language that they know that the average individual may not comprehend or does not have an understanding of. They have to give you notification. It's a disclaimer, all right? You have a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. They are warning you. They're telling you, you may not know what you're getting into, but shut the hell up. Because you are going to say some things that's going to incriminate you. So 9 out of 10 times, when our youth or even grown people, they go to court and they're telling the officer, well, no, I didn't say that. Yes, you did, but you said it in a different language. Okay? You said it in a different language. You feel me? It's like going to China, you don't speak Chinese, but you hear speaking English, and when they translate it, you're talking about, oh, we want to kill the president. It's the same thing in legalese. It sounds like English, but it's not. So a lot of our people get in trouble for that. Okay? I'm going to give you a typical example of a word, understand. In the streets or right now, if I say, hey, brothers and sisters, do you understand me? To you, it means, do I comprehend? And it's either yes or no. But in legalese, when you are asked, do you understand, especially before a court, it means that, are you under me? Okay? You're beneath me. That's what it means, literally, under the stand. Okay? So just to give you an example of one of the words in legalese that sound different, same sound, same spelling, but it's used in a different context when it comes to legalese. So let's go back to the birth certificate, right? It's the same thing. It's the wordplay. That's what they do. That's why people say English is literally a folk tongue language, right? So it's very confusing. So when you see you have a name on your birth certificate, and I would like for you guys to go check it out yourself. Don't take anything I say to be the truth. Even if I'm speaking truth and facts, I want you to be able to say, you know what? I don't think Chief know what he's talking about. I want to do my own research and prove him wrong. All right. So I like that, because that challenges you, okay, to go do your own investigation, right? So go look at Minnesota Court Rule 220, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So on your birth certificate, it says name, and then what you have to do with that. First, you have to go look at the definition of what a certificate is, right? And then you have to take that and go put it on the record. Then secondly, you have to know the legal definition of a record. So what I suggest is you look at what a certificate is, go look at the definition, and then go look at the definition of record, and then go look at the definition of register, because that's what you're actually doing with that certificate, right? So here comes mom and dad, they have a child name is John, right? Or Jane, and then the surname is Doe. All right, remember, we don't have last names because family come what? Family comes first. So I'm gonna give you a typical example. And please do not take this literally, okay? I'm talking about the allegorical Jesus here, right? Or Yeshua, right? When they spoke of the allegorical Jesus. If you don't know what allegory means, it means it wasn't meant to be taken literally. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. So you draw your own conclusion based on what I'm saying. It is actually Jesus of Nazareth. What does that mean? Jesus came from the family of Nazareth because he doesn't have a last name. He has a family name. Now, when you go look at, you see the prefix sir, S-U-R or S-I-R, surname is the same pronunciation, just different spelling. It means what? To be above. So the family is above anything else. And then the name that you are known as, John, belongs to the family of Doe. All right? But in legalese, they ask you what? What's your legal name? Now, for those who are well studied, my response would be, I don't have a legal name. I don't have a name. However, I am known to my family as John, and my family name is Doe. You see, now that takes you away from their jurisdiction, so to speak. All right, at least just that alone. If you know how to do that much, man, you're already on your way. Okay, just so you know, because we don't have any last names, right? So on the birth certificate, you have the name. But when you go look at the definition of name, when you look at the synonyms, all right, it says title. So therefore, your name is a title. So when you have a birth certificate, right, which is the same thing, a name as a title, and you're supposed to, hold up, register that with the registrar. Do you know if you have a car, right, and you take the title of your car and you go register that, what have you done? You have given up part ownership or ownership, okay, of that conveyance or of that car. Is the same thing with the certificate, all right? Because your mother registered that birth certificate, that was part of the deal. Okay, I am turning over the title because once again, a name is what? A title. So here I am, I'm turning over the title to that department or that organization or that corporation. That's what you are actually doing. So therefore, when you go look at your birth certificate, you will see that your mother is what? Is an informant. Go look at the definition of informant. All right? In other words, I'm telling whoever that I'm going to give up my child to, that a child is born and I'm ready to give it up. Okay? So here comes that other party. Man, I love this family right here. I want to be a part of this family. Okay, so let's kind of like work a little deal out, right? I'm going to give you this piece of paper. I'm going to call it a birth certificate. It's going to be beautiful, got these little borders, you know what I'm saying, with a seal on top, and it says the state of whatever, whatever, whatever. Now, let me ask you a question, right? Whose name is at the top of the certificate? Is it your name? Or is it your mom's name? Or is it your dad's name? No. It is the state, the organization that created that document. It belongs to them. So therefore, if the title is being registered, who do you think owns the title? It's the same thing like your car. All right? But that's not good enough. Okay? That's kind of like halfway through the deal. So here we go. Sign everything. Then the mother has to do what? The mother has to sign. Okay? Sign her nature. Okay, she has to sign her nature. That's what signature is. It's two different words. Signature. All right, you're signing your nature away. All right, that's what you're doing. Now, a synonym for signature is what? Autograph, right? Autograph. The AU in autograph stands for gold on the mineral chart. Okay, so your mother is signing in gold. In other words, your signature is the gold. They cannot do anything without your signature. In other words, they cannot do anything without your consent. That's why slavery is voluntary, because you have to volunteer. It has to be done consensually. Okay? So when I tell people slavery is optional, even before Kanye said it, I'd already written my book. Okay? Slavery is voluntary unless. You feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we are volunteering ourselves. Nothing is mandatory. But the way they propose it, it comes off as if it's mandatory. However, when you read the fine prints, they are telling you that, okay, well, you don't have to, but if you don't, you wouldn't get the privileges. You see, our people are always getting caught with the trinkets. They have always used that in the past, and it's still working today, because the trinkets are not glittering like gold the way they caught our ancestors. All right, they came and gave them all these shiny little things, and our ancestors started giving away gold, because it's not that they didn't know the value of gold. They knew that we just didn't pay any mind to it. We walked on the street of gold. Okay, so that was everyday life. It's like walking on dirt and soil, and somebody came and gave you something glitter. You're thinking that the soil is worth less than that little piece of, and that's where that term came in. Everything that glitters is not gold. That was part of how they caught us. All right, but we're not going to talk about that. That's another video, right? So let us go back to the birth certificate concept, right? So here we are. Your mother signs her nature. Okay, give up the title, which is the same thing as name. Give up the title, and here comes the corporation. The corporation said, well, you know what? Yes, you informed us. Yes, you did sign, but now we got to do what? We got to seal the deal, right? Now, go look at the definition of seal. Seal means to bring something together, to join together so that it wouldn't fall apart, right? So now they take what? They take their seal and they seal that deal. So now they become part of the family, because a trust was already set up. A trust has three components, right? For anybody who know anything about trust, I mean, I'm not well, I wouldn't say I'm well versed in trust, but I know enough to know that a trust has three components, all right? And can anybody tell me the three components in the trust? I want to make this interactive, because I feel like I'm alone here. Let me see who we got on here. All right. There you go. You're absolutely right. No contract moves without a signature. That's perfect. All right. Now, can anybody tell me what are the three components for trust? Anybody, real quick. Let me see who's fast on their feet this evening. All right. Let me see who's fast on their feet this evening. I'm gonna give you guys some time to see, not a lot of time, but to see if you guys could just give me that answer real quick. If not, then I'll just tell you what it is. Okay. All right. I'm gonna give a 10-second countdown to see who know it. If not, I'm just gonna say it. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. I'm gonna tell you. I was hoping that my peoples, they with me, man. No, we're learning new to your channel. Okay, all right. So it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. There we go. All right. So we have Gillespie. Kenny Gillespie, trustor, trustee, and beneficiary. All right. There you go. Those are the three components of a trust. The trustor, which is the same as the grantor. You have the trustee and the beneficiary. So let me explain that to you in terms of how that applies to your family structure, because your family trust structure is a trust, just like how you have the Trinity. The Trinity is a trust. Okay, everything comes in threes is a trust, and life is based on a trust. You dig, right? So here we go. The father is what? The grantor. Okay, the father is the grantor, the trustor. The father what? The father grants the mother the seed or the sperm. Okay, and then the mother does what? The mother receives it. Okay, he trusts the mother with the seed, right? Or the sperm, whichever way you want to call it. Some people say, well, the mother got the seed. Some people say the father. Man, listen, it doesn't matter to me. I don't care. All I know is it takes two. So I'm gonna just leave it as that. I don't want to get into anything to no nonsensical conversations when obviously it takes two to make children. All right. But anyway, the father trusts the mother with the sperm, right? So therefore, the mother gets pregnant and she's entrusted with that baby. So she becomes the what? The trustee. All right. And then that baby becomes what? The beneficiary. All right. So there is your family trust. However, a corporation said, I love that trust concept right there. Now I want to be a part of that. So what I would like you to do is I want you to register your trust into our corporation. Okay. We're going to give it a title and we want you to register it. And now we're going to take over your trust. So they just took over your trust. Now, you may ask, well, Chief, man, what are you talking about? What trust is my family in that they put me in another trust? I'm going to explain that to you guys, right? Let me get a piece of paper real quick. Because, when you drop in knowledge like that, they always like to, block you. Talk about you violating their standards, right? They always do that, right? Let me just show y'all real quick. Okay, so this is what it is. Everyone is in a trust. Anytime you have that certificate with that seal, with that signature, okay, you are part of a trust, all right? Now, can anybody see what this says? Anybody? Let me know if you guys can see what this says. Anybody? All right. I want to see the... Anybody? Can anybody tell me what this says? If you can't see it, or if it's backwards, then I'll just have to go ahead and read it myself. But this says, in God we. Now let me ask you a question. What does it say on the dollar bill? Can anybody tell me? What does it say on the dollar bill or any one of those money? What does it say? Quick, anybody? We gotta be quick here. We gotta be quick here, my peoples. I know we got some sharp people on the feed now. You know what I mean? There we go. In God, but I'm saying what's actually on the money? In God we what? Anybody? In God we? Help me out here. Help me out here, guys. Like I said, I want this to be interactive now. I want you guys to help me out. What does it say on the money? In God we trust. There you go. Okay, so you see the trust? That is the trust. Okay, the name of the trust is In God We, and it's a trust. You feel me? So I'm gonna give you another example. If you have your family, all right, remember that baby that was born, that baby name is John, right? And John is of the family of Doe, so it's John Doe. What if John's family say, I want to create a trust for John, so I'm going to create a trust for John. Now the name of the trust would be John Doe Trust. You see what I'm saying? Take away the John Doe, and all you have to do is add trust, and that's a trust. So it's the same thing. In God we is the trust, but they kind of like did it in a slick way to make you think, well, you know what? It's in the Sky Daddy, you know what I'm saying, that we trust. There's no Sky Daddy with a big beard watching, looking down at people. No. Okay? They have to give you a public notice. And the public notice is on every single piece of dollar bill that you spend. Okay? You are part of the trust. And that's the trust. In God we trust. Okay? I just wanted to make sure y'all get that, because everything is always done in the open. Okay? All right? Everything is always out in the open, and that's true. Not every, that's right, William, that is correct. Not every contract, has to be signed, because some of it could be implied or expressed. All right, so that's true, and you don't need a signature for that, because you also have verbal contracts, right? So with that being said, okay, so there's an 8-second delay. All right, so yeah, I guess that's just what it is. We're gonna have to deal with that for now. So brothers and sisters, right? Everyone is in a trust. So what you want to be able to do is eventually learn about trust. You see, those things we're supposed to be teaching our children, okay? Opposed to teaching our children, how to be twerking and how to listen to every song on the radio or every dance on YouTube, or before we even put a football or a basketball in any of our children's hands. We're supposed to be teaching them about those things. You feel me? Because the true value is in the knowledge, okay? The value is not in what you possess. Literally, it is not the materialistic things that's the value. Is what you know, and how to apply the knowledge is the wealth, okay? So let's go back to Jay-Z, because all that, I'm bringing that back into a 360. How does that apply to Jay-Z? what Jay-Z found out is that Shawn Carter is not him. Okay? Shawn Carter is not him. Shawn Carter is an entity that was created. So what did Jay-Z do? Jay-Z became an artist or a businessman. That's why Jay-Z said, I'm a businessman. I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman. What does that mean? He's saying that Shawn Carter is a business. Not a businessman, but a business. So he learned how to take control of the business. So what did he do? He made Jay-Z. Okay, Jay-Z is the owner of Shawn Carter because Shawn Carter is a business. So therefore, Shawn Carter is not Jay-Z. They are two separate entities. Jay-Z is the living man, and Shawn Carter, okay, whether or he could have switched it around, made Shawn Carter private, and then made Jay-Z public. I think that's the way he did it. All right, and then he gave Shawn Carter power of attorney over Jay-Z, but he's not using Shawn Carter because Shawn Carter is private. All right. Now here's another thing. With that birth certificate, remember it's a trust that was set up. Once again, what are the three components of a trust? The trustor, which is the grantor, the trustee, and the beneficiary. So my brothers and sisters, a trust was set up. So you have to ask yourself, well, if my father was the trustor and my mother was the trustee and I'm the beneficiary, but yet still my mother gave up the trust, then who is the trustor now? And then who's the trustee now? And then who's the beneficiary? Those are the questions that you have to start asking yourself. All right? Have you ever heard of that term, trust fund baby? I'm certainly sure you have, right? So I'm not even going to play let's see who could answer it yes or no, okay? There's a term, or a terminology rather, that's said that it goes this way, trust fund baby. Now, a lot of times people think that wealthy people, right, they have all these trust funds set up for their children, and you talk, oh, well, you're a trust fund baby. Brothers and sisters, let me explain something to you, right? Because you're a trust fund baby, it doesn't mean that your family literally left materialistic wealth for you. No, that's not what it means. It means that when you were born and that certificate was created, that certificate became your estate. Okay, your estate, and the name of the estate is the name that your mother gave you. So therefore, if John Doe was the name that was given to that child, okay, once those documents was created, an estate was created, and the name of the estate became John Doe. It is the John Doe estate, all right? But your parents didn't know that they had a trust. So a corporation came in and said, you know what, you don't know what you're doing, right? We tricked you into giving it over, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to be the trustee for you, okay? We're going to be the trustee. And that's what happened. And they also made themselves the what? The beneficiary. Okay? So talking about Jay-Z, everybody, oh, Jay-Z's the first billionaire, you know, rapper and all. Let me tell y'all something, man. Like I said, people perish for the lack of knowledge. Ignorance is bliss, literally, okay? Ignorance is bliss. But allowing yourself to just live in ignorance, it could become stupidity sometimes. By no means I'm calling anyone stupid. But if you're not willing to learn, okay, and you just want to allow yourself to just bask in ignorance, then it becomes a problem, okay? So here's the deal with Jay-Z. Jay-Z is not a billionaire because he has a billion federal notes, okay? The bank don't even have $1 billion sitting around. So how do you think Jay-Z got that? Jay-Z don't have $1 billion in what you call fiat currency, what y'all think is money. It is not money. It's not real, okay? It's an illusion, okay? It is fiat currency. It is just a transmitting utility. That's all it is. I give you something, you give me something back. It's literally bartering. Our ancestors have been doing that for thousands and thousands of years. Nothing changed. All right? But we are here thinking that we have to use the illusion. We are chasing, killing ourselves for something that's not real because it has no value. If you look on the piece of paper, what does it say? For legal, I forgot what it says, but where's my, I know I had a dollar or two somewhere, but it says for legal tender purposes, private and something. Let me get one. Give me a second. Let me get it. Yeah, give me a second here. Give me a second, guys. Okay, so it says, right, this note is, it says this note is a legal tender for all debt, public and private, for debt. All right, it's for debt, public and private. Now let me ask you a question. If you go to the store and you buy anything, right? I'm going to tell you what this says again. Legal tender for debt, debt only. So it's a debt instrument. So if you go buy something, you didn't pay for anything because it wasn't a debt. Okay? At that time, it's only a promissory note. That's why they're called what? Promissory notes. A promise to pay. But you are never paying because it's not real. The true energy is you going to work, busting your butt every single day. That's what the true value is. That's what the true currency is. The currency is not this paper, no. And a lot of people have, saving accounts, and you're not supposed to save money. It wasn't meant to be saved. That's why it's called currency. It should always be flowing. Okay? It should always be flowing. Peep the game. Okay? They didn't call it currency for no reason, brothers and sisters. Okay? They're all promissory notes. It's a promise to pay. Okay? So, here we are. So, when I ask all these people that claim to have bought our land, I have a very simple question for them. Let me ask you a question, right? How much did you pay for this land? Well, when they say, oh, well, we paid this and that. Well, let me ask you a question, right? Is a promissory note the same thing as actually paying? Because those are promissory notes. So one of the claims, and I'm telling you, I'm giving you solutions to a lot of our problems, right? Because we think they bought our land. They didn't buy the land because this is a promissory note. It's not real money. Okay, it's not real money. So therefore, if it's not real and you bought it with promissory notes, that means you still owe a debt. So why aren't we, as the indigenous people, making claims so that they could actually pay for real this time? But you see, too many people on the internet fighting each other, bringing each other down. Oh, we say, oh, we aboriginals, but we still fighting each other. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell y'all something. It doesn't matter what part of the world that we're in. Brown-skinned people, copper-toned people, I don't care what you want to call them, all right? We are all facing the same genocide, okay? We are facing the same genocide. Yes, I do my lectures on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and talking and dropping seeds, dropping knowledge, dropping jewels. You feel me? But I do that particularly to enlighten my brothers and sisters that's here in the Americas. You feel me? It is not, the intended purpose is not to discriminate against Africans or Asians or Europeans. No, that's not what it is. Okay? It is not to say that we're different from them. No, we are all related. You see what I'm saying? Now, here's the thing. If the earth, right, was supposedly one landmass, which it still is, all that's separating the land is just some water. Okay? Now, some of it is natural and some of it was man-induced, manipulated, right? So that they could put their own territories and their own imaginary lines, right? At the end of the day, we all still have the same problem. We're still dealing with the same parasite. You see what I'm saying? But I know a lot of people are coming into the knowledge, and this is who we truly are. And truly, we didn't really we are not Africans. I get it. I know we are not. But my thing is, how much time are we going to spend talking about we ain't Africans? I mean, I'm not saying don't teach it. I'm not saying that. But all I'm just saying is what's next? Every single day it's a post. Well, we ain't Africans. We've been here. All right. I know we've been here. So what's next? What's next? Are we going to every day until the next 5 years talk about we being here? It is the same thing that most people that come into the knowledge, okay, they start dogging religions. They start dogging everything that's associated with religion, right? But what they're not realizing is that they're putting themselves in another paradigm that's religious based or religion based, because you're doing the same thing. You have faith, but you don't have the works. And faith without works is dead. Because I hear people talking, but I don't see nobody doing. Now, I'm not saying people are not doing. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying I'm not seeing people doing. All right? And then when you try to connect with them, they don't want to connect. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, my thing is like, what's the point? What is the point, right? Do you think that you could fight this battle alone? But anyway, even before I go into this, right, I just want everybody to know that at the ending of the day, right, it's a lot to be learned. And our people was duped into this contract that they didn't know. It was done unknowingly. And because there was no full disclosure at the time when our mothers got and our fathers got into this contract, then you have a right to claim that it was void, to make it null and void. That's your right, because I didn't know. I didn't tell my mother to name me. No, she did that without my knowledge. But going back to Minnesota Court Rule 220, at the age of 18, all right, you are considered an adult. So what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to take your certificate, right, and then get an affidavit. As long as you have the full knowledge of the information therein, that's what you're supposed to do. Slap an affidavit to it and go claim that now you're an adult. Proclaim that. I'm an adult. Okay? I'm no longer an infant. I'm not a dissident. Okay? Go look at the definition of dissident. It means that to be dead. Okay? So at the age of 18, that's what you are supposed to do. And go file that in the county that where you are, where you were born, or wherever you at. You're supposed to go file that, right? And put that on the record. And become what? Now you become a majority. Brothers and sisters, majority and minority has nothing to do with numbers. Because you see, everything is wordplay semantics, right? So what people here thinking, oh man, it's only 45 million of us. No, it's literally over 100 million of us right here in the United States alone. You feel me? But we are the minority because you haven't claimed, okay, or declared that you are an adult, which is the age of majority. So you're considered what? A minority. And what's a synonym for minority? It's minor. Who's a minor? A minor is a child. And what do children need? Children need who? Parents. Someone to handle their affairs because they are deemed incompetent. So those are very simple things, but yet still complex information that our people need to learn, and stop with the games and stop with the nonsensical posts and fighting each other and hating each other and trying to tell people who they are and who they are not. I mean, come on. Seriously. When are we going to get it? We are waiting for the universe, whatever you believe in. I don't care what you believe in terms of what you subscribe to as a great spirit or the Most High or God or Jesus or Buddha or Zeus or Allah. I don't care. Okay? As long as you subscribe to something that's higher than who we are, guess what? Too many people are waiting on that energy or that force to fix things for us. Okay? It defeats the purpose of having free will. Free will means that you're not just supposed to wait and sit for things to happen. Once again, what? I'm gonna use that word God very lightly. God help those who what? Help themselves. So how are we just gonna sit around and think things are gonna change? No. At some point, we have to take action. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying come on the internet and say everything that we're going to do. Only a fool would let his enemies know what he's going to do. That's why I know real gangsters don't say, I'm going to do this to you and post it. Real gangsters just do what they're going to do. So anytime anybody on the internet talking about, oh, I'm going to come get you and I'm going to do this, man, listen, you ain't no real gangster, man. You ain't real. Because real gangsters don't talk what they're going to do. They just do it. You feel me? But here's the thing, though. Too many of us want to be gangsters when it comes to our own people. Okay? Real gangsters protect their own. If you go learn the history of gangsters, okay? They were gangsters because they protect their communities. That's what real gangsters do. If you're going around selling drugs to your people, disrespecting your women and children, not taking care of your children, beating up your woman beating you up every single day, y'all cursing in front of y'all children, disrespecting each other, man, listen, man. You're not a gangster, fan. No, you're a wankster. As simple as that. Because real gangsters step up and protect theirs. Period. Okay, so we have to broaden our scope to realize that we are a people, okay, that are the children of the American continent. It doesn't matter where in the Americas you were so-called born. The point is we're all indigenous, aboriginals of this land. The same way somebody from California, a native Californian, will have a different accent from somebody who's from Alabama or Mississippi or Chicago or New York. It is the same thing. So now you have people that's in the islands with different accents, just like how people in Trinidad got different accents from somebody who's from Grenada or Guyana or St. Vincent or St. Lucia or Dominica, Guadeloupe, Martinique, just to name a few. But does it negate the fact that they're still children of the Americas? All those are tools and devices of divide and conquer. Okay? Divide and conquer. That's all it is, man. The Willie Lynch syndrome is still in effect today. It is still in effect today. And that's, to me, is a huge problem in our community. Okay? It's a huge problem. So here we are, right? So here we are, okay? You have lost, okay, ownership of who you are. Your parents have lost ownership of who you are. So that's why they could come and say, hey, you know what? Somebody said you did this to your child and they're going to take your children and you can't do anything about it because what? You gave up your rights and made them the parents. And no one taught us when we turned the age of 18, we were supposed to declare that we are adults and no longer children. No, we are no longer minors and become part of the majority. Nobody taught us that. So I'm not mad at you for not knowing that, brothers and sisters. But my thing is, they say when you know better, you do better. That may be true in some cases. But I'm going to do a remix. Not that I'm Puff Daddy or anything, but I grew up in Brooklyn. And no, he didn't grow up in Brooklyn. I'm just saying, well, let's say New York, because people like to focus on the wrong thing. It's kind of a damn shame I had to really elaborate on that, right? But anyway, I'm going to do the remix. They say that when you know better, you do better, all right? That's true in some cases. However, I'm going to say, when you know better, you're supposed to do better. Because a lot of people know better and they don't do better. Because too many people are comfortable. And it's only when they take you out your comfort zone, you start seeing something is wrong. And you want to do something about it. And at that time, sometime too late shall be your cry. Why do our people always have to wait until our backs are against the wall to do things? Why? Why can't we be proactive like everybody else? Everybody come here and they come together, they band together and they push and they fight and they work together. Group economics, whatever it is, they work together. But for some reason, we were taught that we can't work together, we can't trust each other, we can't depend on each other And guess what? That's what we believe. That's what we believe. But that's why, brothers and sisters, you have trust. Okay? You could create legal documents to work with your brothers and sisters and hold them liable if they breach that trust. At some point, we got to learn to work together. All right? And attract the coherent or the energies that's in synergy with our energies. Because we cannot do it alone. No one man is an island. No one woman is an island. So at what point are we going to say, man, listen, I am tired of fighting alone. I want to make sure that our elders get to see something change before they live, before they transcend, before they transition. What are we setting up for the next 7 generations? You see, every other ethnic group that comes into our home, we are the original Americans. But yet still everybody else is coming into our land, okay? And they are living the American dream while we, the true Americans, we are living a nightmare. At what point are we going to say enough is enough? At what point are we going to say, let's stop fighting each other? Now, don't get me wrong. Not everybody is going to feel that way, because it's a spiritual thing as well. And we as a people, you as an individual, you have to know how to read energies. You have to start seeing beyond the flesh. See people for who they truly are. Okay, not what somebody tell you, but for who they truly are. Can you see past the flesh? Can you see past the clothing? Can you see past the makeup? Can you see past the gold teeth? Can you see past the weave? Who is that individual? Who is that energy inside of you that is being carried by your host? Can you see that person? Can you hear that person? Can you feel that person? That's when you truly get to know who people are. Because you see, once you get to know them in such a profound way, guess what? They cannot lie to you. They cannot deceive you. Okay? And that's how you get to know people. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to go to bed with them. No, because it's not a physical thing. You see, too many of our people are focused on the physical aspect, the physical manifestations of who we are. Now, if you go look at the Sphinx, right, you will see a perfect example of what we're supposed to master. If you look at the Sphinx, it has what? A human head and an animal body. What is that telling you? What's the allegory? Everything is symbolic. It is telling you that you, the higher self, is supposed to be in control of the animalistic self, right? But how can you do that? First, you have to know yourself. And then get to know people. Too many of us think to get to know people, you got to be in the sack with them. Nah, man. It's not always a physical thing, brothers and sisters. Okay? So I know I've kind of diverted a little bit, but I'm just putting everything in perspective. Okay? So we have to learn to form alliances. Okay? We cannot fight this war alone. We are at war, believe it or not. We are. And for people who can't see that they're at war, man, listen, you don't stand a chance. Okay? You don't stand a chance. All right? So going back to Jay-Z, once again, Jay-Z knows that it was a business and he took control of the business. And within that business, there was a trust that was set up, an estate. And Jay-Z found a way on how to access that estate. And within his estate, he has $1 billion worth of credit. It is not tangible fiat currency. Brothers and sisters, they are pushing the illusion for y'all. Okay? They are pushing the illusion to make you think it's real money. No, Jay-Z don't have $1 billion in fiat currency. I could bet anybody anything. And I promise you, I'm going to win that bet if Jay-Z is willing to tell the truth. It is a credit line of $1 billion because he accessed his estate, his trust fund. Okay? So I just wanted to share that with you guys. All right? Okay. All right. So let us take it to another. Let's take it across the field a little bit, right? We're still going to stay in context, but I want to take it across the field a little bit. All right. So some people may say, well, Chief, what's the next step, right? To me, the next step is to start seeking some information, right? Not everything that you see on the internet is going to be real. So the first piece of information that you find, don't take it literally, okay? Don't take it to be oh man, that's the holy truth. No, okay? Do a lot of cross references. Ask people, do research, go to the Library of Congress. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, I went to the Library of Congress at least 9 times, okay? 9 times within 1 month or 6 weeks. And I'm talking about getting there as soon as they open. And they have no clocks in the Library of Congress. So when you're in there, time just go by and you don't even know. And before I know it, it's literally time to close 7, 8, 9 p.m. Studying, researching. Okay, they say if you want to hide anything from a you-know-what, put it where? In a book. A lot of our people don't like to read. Now, don't get me wrong. I am not here putting my people down. A lot of times it's not their fault because that's something that was passed down. Okay, we are a visual people. We are an oral people. Okay, so reading wasn't really our thing. And when they did allow us to read, we read the Bible. Okay, so a lot of people still can't read, but I'm encouraging you to do more reading. All right, and when you read, get a dictionary. Take your time. When you're reading, don't read to finish, but read to start. What I mean by that is don't rush. You see, when we're in school, they always teach you, oh, hurry up. Are you done yet? No, don't rush. Do it at your own time. Turn the televisions off, brothers and sisters. Okay? Leave Empire alone. Leave the housewives alone. All that stuff is just what they put there. You see, they will give you everything you need to destroy yourself. It is called self-destruction. And we fall for it every time. Like I told y'all before, there is a season for everything. Just like how nature has seasons, spring, winter, summer, fall, they give you seasons for everything. Basketball season, baseball season, football season, cricket season, soccer season, all type of season. All right? And when they ran out of season, they give you seasonings for your food. GMO seasoning as well. So everything is about seasoning. All right? But those are distractions. Shut them off. Now, I could show you how to save literally $80, $90, $100, $200 a month. Simple. Get rid of the cable. You see, too many of us afraid of the challenge of parenting. So we let the TV raise our children. We let the video games raise our children. Okay? Because parents that our parents used to be, their parents used to be, a lot of these parents these days, they're not the same caliber of parents. So it's easier to take the children and just put them in front of the TV for 7 hours. Oh, go play a game. Oh, you know what? And the chat. Oh, mommy loved me because mommy got me playing my video game for 7 hours. Not knowing the damage that you're causing to your child. Because you don't want to be a parent, but you want to sit down and have sex and don't wear protection and just having babies just because you having sex. Now, some people may take offense to what I'm saying, man. Listen, it is what it is. All I know is how to speak from my heart and speak truth. Okay? Because our people are hurting. And I feel their pain. You know what I mean? And it sometimes it gets a little frustrating because every single day you're putting information out there, but people are still doing the same thing. Brothers and sisters, if what we have been doing for all these years, we haven't gotten any changes, and we are doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result, it's called insanity. And a lot of people are walking around crazy, literally talking to themselves. And there's nothing wrong in talking to yourself, but I'm just saying, okay, it's driving people insane because they are actually in a hamster's wheel. sometimes 100 miles an hour, but then they're going nowhere. They're just going in circles, in circles, in circles. And people are always in a rush. I grew up in Brooklyn, right? And I'm going to tell you, traffic gets a little hectic in Brooklyn. You see what I'm saying? And I'm at a light. And even before the light changed, literally as soon as the light changed green, everybody's blowing their horn. Everybody's always in a rush. Where they're going, they don't know, but they're just in a rush. Oh, a lot of our people are in a rush to get nowhere because they're not going anywhere. It's all an illusion. Okay? So I'm asking you to get back in focus. Become the guide. Okay? Become the guide that our children need. You see, our children need guides, not parents. Okay? Parenting comes from a perspective of slavery. Well, if you don't do what I'm going to say, I'm going to whoop your ass. That's parenting. Okay? Guardianship is something different. We were brought here to guide our children, not to be parents to them. Guide them. When you look into nature, okay, animals, they guide their young. But once again, too many of us are not willing to be that. Okay? So we put the responsibility on the teachers, you know, the television, the video games, their friends. I mean, a lot of our children got friends that you wouldn't even want to be friends with their friends. You know what I mean? But yet still, they are friends with your children. Brothers and sisters, we got to do better. All right? Are your children educated enough to know when they're stopped by a police officer, how they're supposed to conduct themselves? Okay? What to say and what not to say. Do they know? Are you teaching your children that black is not a nationality? Black is not even a color? Are you teaching your children that they are not African Americans? What are you teaching them? What are you teaching them? Are you doing enough research, enough searching, enough seeking to see what clans or family or nation that your ancestors they came from, so that you could actually claim who you are? Are you doing those things? Are you spending time doing that? Or as soon as you come from work, you got to watch Power. You got to watch the next show. I mean, I see people sit down and literally look at 7 different episodes, you know, literally consecutively. And then they go watch another one. Oh, my show is coming on. I can't wait. Because that's what they want you to do. They don't want you to do anything else but just sit around and watch TV while the world around you is changing. It's changing. All right? And don't think it's going to get easier. No. These people, right? The way they think, they have to create order out of chaos. All right? I don't know how many people remember, but Donald Trump said in his own words, Americans are divided. And the only way Americans could come together based on history and what has been proven is when they are suffering. Okay? I heard it myself. So what does that mean? They love to create chaos in order for them to create some type of order, the order that they want. All right? But they have to create chaos. A lot of people walking around thinking they're free. Y'all ain't free, man. Y'all ain't free. At least our ancestors knew that they were enslaved. Okay? Some of them knew they were enslaved. Now, when I say enslaved, it doesn't mean that they came on a slave ship. No. Our ancestors were farmers. All right? And what they did was, again, the word play. They took the farms, and instead of calling them farmers, instead of calling the farms, they called it plantations. And instead of calling them workers, they called them slaves. Our ancestors were workers on their own land. They were sharecroppers. Okay? So don't let these people fool y'all, man. How many people are willing to start teaching their children? How many people are willing to make that sacrifice? How many people are willing to say, okay, you know what, man, listen, I know we got our differences. Let's forget it. We got something bigger on our hands. How many people are actually willing to do that? How many people are willing to call a brother, call a sister? Hey, are you okay this week? Do you need anything? Why does it always have to be about I? And then we always want to blame everybody else and not look at ourselves. Anytime you point your finger, brothers and sisters, guess what? There is 3 fingers pointing right back at you. So I suggest you look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, am I doing to others like I would have them do unto me? Ask yourself that question, okay? And I would like for you to answer honestly, because the only person that you cannot lie to is yourself. And some of you are such good liars, you even lie to yourself. So that means you're gone. Okay? How many people are always seeking to, to be liked and to be loved? Let me ask you a question. Do you even love yourself? So we got a lot of work to do, man. We got a lot of work to do, all right? So don't get caught up with all the hype, all the distractions. Let Jay-Z do what he got to do, all right? Let him do what he got to do. It is all business at the end of the day, okay? Those are the people that y'all idolize. But the truth of the matter is, that's just my opinion once again. They don't give a damn about us, okay? They don't. Because the majority of them know the truth, but they are contracted and they have signed non-disclosure agreements that they can't tell you anything. How many of them know that they are actually indigenous? They know they are aboriginals. They know what nations and clans they came from, but they're still calling you Black and African American. Because you know what? It's all business. You feel me? Being Black is a big business. Even if you are not Black, obviously you ain't Black, brothers and sisters. And I've broken that down in many videos. So I'm not even going to beat a dead horse. Because there's enough dead people running around. So I don't need no more dead horses. Because to be Black means that you are dead in law. So liberté matus. Okay? But for some reason, our people, I mean, I'm not saying everybody, right? But at least do the research. Don't get stuck on this foolish pride. Oh, I'm Black and I'm proud. Black lives matter. No, Black lives don't matter because you don't exist. Give them back their Black lives. Okay, it belongs to them. They are the Black ones, not us. Give it back to them. We are indigenous to this land. Okay? And paper genocide is real. So, seeing that we know paper genocide is real, then all you need is a grandmother, an elder, somebody in your family, or 2 or 3 people in your family to sign your affidavit saying that this is who you say you are. And guess what? That stands in law because they cannot tell us who we are. And when they start talking, you know what? I would tell them, do me a favor. Prove to me that I'm not who I say I am. They can't prove it because they know who we are and they have destroyed the records. So how are they going to prove that we're not who we say we are? But guess what? I could prove that they are not who they say they are. You see the difference? Because there are records of all of them coming here. But there's no records of us coming here. How is that? Has anyone thought about that? Critical thinking? Do you use the mind that the Creator gave you to think? How is that we could do extensive research and know that and see the records of every immigrant who came here since the 1600s? A lot of them are actually in Randall's Island. They have the records of all the, well, the indentured servants, right? Indentured servants, not the slaves who came here, all right? And the majority of them was Caucasians. Okay, don't let nobody fool you. Okay? But they had to romanticize the word and not call them slaves and call them indentured servants. Nah, they were slaves. Okay? But there is an extent record of them coming here. There is even some record of some Africans coming here. All right? But the millions of us that was already here, they ain't got no records of us coming here because we were already here. So now the burden of proof is on them. So I tell my folks, yes, do your seeking, do your due diligence, right? But if you get stuck, because most people get stuck around the 1800s, all right, the late 1700s, that's done intentionally, all right? Some people are able to go further. You feel me? And then even some people, the further they go, they start realizing they have family in Turkey and Portugal and all that. That's where the Moors came in, okay? That's where the Moors came in. Because the Moors came here. The Moors are not originally from here. Okay? And I'm just telling you the truth. I mean, facts over feelings. All right? And everybody's not a Moor. I'm not a Moor. My ancestors didn't call themselves Moors. All right? But Moors came in and mixed in with our people. I'm talking about and Africans too, Asians too, and Europeans too. Even before the so-called transatlantic slave trade. Even before 1492, these people were already here mixed in with us. Brothers and sisters, this world, okay, this world is literally millions, if not billions of years old. Who knows when the first man came? Nobody knows. Who knows when the first woman came? It's all speculation. Nobody knows conclusively. Let them show me the proof. I will challenge anybody and win that. I don't debate, but I will debate that. Because they cannot prove that to me. Prove to me exactly when the first man and woman came on this earth. Prove to me. You can't prove that to me. Because now you're going to show me research from people who use that research to destroy the damn earth. So how am I going to believe them? There's no credibility. They're all liars. So I'm not going to believe that. So the point I'm trying to make is, we have to realize that we are more connected than we want to admit it. So my thing is, why spend all your days talking about who's here first? And that's well and good. That's all well and good. All right. It's like, I'm going to give you a typical example, right? It's like New York and Jersey having beef. Talking about, oh, well, we was in New York first. No, we was in Jersey first. But guess what? Guess who put the imaginary line? The colonizer. I mean, brothers and sisters, come on, man. I mean, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Sometimes I want to know if I'm just I want to ask myself if I'm making sense. You see what I'm saying? Brothers and sisters, am I making sense? I just want to know. Because sometimes I honestly think that I'm overthinking things, right? It's the same thing. Why we here beefing with Africans? Why we here beefing with other? Listen, what is it's an imaginary line that was put by the colonizers. Period. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that it's wrong to identify as who we are. I'm not saying that. But all I'm just saying is, let us learn to build allies, right? Everybody's talking, oh man, we at war, you ready for war. Now you're not ready for war. You haven't even won the mental war. Do you think you're gonna win a physical war? Do you have enough guns? Do you have enough drones? Do you have enough tanks? Do you have enough grenades? Do you? It's a legitimate question. So where are your allies? Huh? I mean, if we cannot, ally amongst ourselves, and we are the ones in the predicament. Pardon me, I need some water. Where's my water? No, anyway, right? We are the ones that's in the predicament, and we cannot even form allies amongst ourselves. Do y'all really think y'all ready for a war? I mean, come on, let's really think about it, right? You know, like I said, facts over feelings. Why aren't we making allies? Why aren't we befriending our brothers and sisters that's in Europe? Why aren't we befriending our brothers and sisters that's in Asia? Why aren't we befriending our brothers and sisters that's in Africa? Why are we spending time differentiating ourselves so much? And like I said, don't get me wrong. I am teaching our story as who we are for a reason. We all could work together, but I want people to know that we have our own identity. There's nothing wrong with that, all right? But let us not alienate our allies, because we are all going through the same thing all over this planet. Brothers and sisters, brown people and copper-skinned people are dying out. It's genocide on us. So, man, to me, that's like the easiest thing to figure out, okay? It's the easiest thing to figure out. If somebody's bullying me, right? And I see Tom and Susan and Jane and Beverly and Shaquay and Shania and June and Junebug. I see they all getting bullied as well. Do you think I'm gonna have beef with them? No. Man, I'm gonna do a little huddle. I'm gonna do a little huddle when the bully's not watching. Check this out, y'all. It's about 10 of us. Every day we getting our ass whooped, right? So I'm just saying, like, every day they take our lunch. What are we gonna do? Are we gonna continue to fight each other because we're nerds? Or are we gonna come together and take our glasses off and whoop some ass? I mean, that's what anybody with any type of logical thinking would actually want to do. We are the ones getting bullied, but yet still the bully is bullying the bullied. Like, things that make you go, I don't think y'all heard me, man. I don't think y'all heard me. I don't think y'all heard me. And that's what I'm asking. Why is the bullied bullying the bully? Does that even make sense? So don't you see that the amount of work that we got to do? We have a lot of work to do. And I'm telling you, and I'm not just assuming that, right? I'm telling you for a fact, we are stronger working together, okay? We are bigger working together. We are better working together. If there's such a word, better, right? You know, that's the West Indian in me, better, right? But the point I'm trying to make is, okay, as a unit coming together, we are stronger than we are divided. Okay? I mean, of course, I mean, we could talk about the food lifestyle. All that is part of it. All right? That's part of it. I mean, I could do another video talking about food another time. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, this is what it's all about. Changing the mindset. All right? Changing the mindset. And I totally agree. Not everybody's going to come together and sing Kumbaya. I get it. All right? And that's the point I wanted to make earlier, is that some people will manifest it here to cause chaos. People manifested here to be the opposite of what we are actually trying to do right now. Because if you, I mean, you have two hands, right? Most people have two hands, right? You got a right hand, you got a left hand, right? Now, if you didn't have a left and a right, and you only had one arm in the middle of your chest, how would you know which one is the left or the right? So it's the same thing. There is duality. The same way we are here pushing to be good and pushing to love each other, there are going to be people that's going to be pushing to divide and to separate us as well, even our own kind, because we could see it all the time. The majority of the times, we are our biggest enemies, all right? Now, that happens for a reason. Some people are just ignorant, and when I say ignorant, I'm talking about for the lack of knowledge. They don't know any better. And some people, it's just in their nature to be destructive. That's what they manifest here for. So my advice to you is learn to identify those energies and step away from those energies. You feel me? Because we are at a juncture in our being where all the people who are actually on the same frequency, we need to be together. We need to be communing together. All right? Whether it may be, you know, at some part in the United States, some part in South America, wherever, or we do conference calls every week and we bring that energy together, we have to do something. Because I'm telling you, we don't necessarily have to lift a finger, period. I'm telling y'all, and that's real talk. We don't even have to leave a finger to win this war. Because we are so powerful that we don't realize that the words that we speak, it give life or it give death. Now, my question to you this evening is, when you speak, is it going to give life to your people, or is it going to give death to your people? And that's a question that you have to answer. And only you could answer that question in truth. Because every time you open up your mouth, you're either giving life or you're either giving death. Which one is it? When you wake up every single sunrise, right? Okay? When you wake up every single sunrise, what are your first thoughts? Because you see, your first thoughts is kind of like a segue to what your day is going to be like. If you rise and you start complaining, if you rise and you start talking about, oh man, my back hurt, it's going to be a long day, it's going to be, oh, I can't stand. Man, listen, anytime you get up with that type of energy, you have already set the precedence for your day to be a messed up day. So you have to program yourself to start giving life with your words. Okay? Start giving life with your words. Why can't we call each other brothers? Why do we have to call each other nigger? Like, brother is not good enough. God is not good enough. I remember back in the days growing up as a youngster in Brooklyn, they used to call me young God. We used to call each other God. You know what I mean? And sometimes we'd just say, what up, G? You know, G stands for God. At some point, we stop acknowledging each other as gods and we start calling each other niggas. Right? Come on. And then we have brothers disrespecting our sisters, calling them bitches and hoes in every song. And that's not even the worst part. The worst part is our sisters are now calling themselves bitches and hoes. So now they want to be bad bitches. So that's two negatives. Okay, you are bad and plus you are a female dog. A bad female dog. Wow. And then we got our little girls going around calling themselves that. Come on, man. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? And then they paint us as black to the world, because you know what that is? Black means dead. You are dead. So when they shoot our children in the streets, everybody's desensitized, because you know what? They are taking lives that don't matter. So don't matter how you sing it don't matter because black people don't exist. Now some people say, well, Chief, well, because you change your identity and you say you are this, that's not going to stop the killing. Well, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay? Yes, it is. Because now it is not just a domestic thing, it becomes international. Because when you are black and you are African American, okay, you are in a box. And that box has an owner. And therefore, the owner of the box get to decide what happens in that box. But when you take yourself outside the box, now it becomes something outside of the box. So now you could bring international claims. Okay? So for all your scholars and your teachers and your leaders and your politicians and all this, I'm a doctor this and I'm doctor that, and they're here teaching you that you're black and you're African American, trust me, they are agents. Okay? Anybody on here, especially if they call themselves doctors and scholars and teachers, and they're here calling you black and African American, they are getting paid. Okay? Because to be black is a big business. Okay? It's just an energy. But what you have done is they have made you the foundation, the basis of that energy. And what they do, they use a month out of the year, February. Okay? It's called the Walking Dead, the month of the Walking Dead, Black History Month. Let us use up their energy, okay, in February, and then we'll go into the new year, which is in March. Okay? And then we'll blossom. Okay, that's what they do. That's what they do. Because they have to use our energy to survive. And a lot of times when I tell people, when I speak that way, people think I'm actually talking, or they assume that I'm speaking of complexion, black and white. No, it is not a color thing. I don't play the color game. All right? I stopped playing with colors a very long time ago. I love colors, but I don't go into crayon box and play with colors. I've passed that stage, and it doesn't mean I wouldn't do it again, because it's okay to go back to being a child. The problem is too many of us are childish. There's a difference. Okay, I know when to revert to being a child, but not childish. Okay, so the truth of the matter is I don't play the color game. I don't play that. So when I speak the way I speak and I say they, the they I'm speaking of is a system. All right, and you'll be surprised when you really go into the beast, the belly of that system. There are more people that look like us than people who don't look like us. Because remember, this is still Indian country. Okay? This is still Indian country. Peep the game. Go look at the etymology of caucus. Because like I said, I don't want nobody to believe anything I'm saying. Because I want you to go do your own seeking, do your own searching, and then do your research, and then do your in-search. All right? Go look at the etymology of caucus. But yet still, the people that's in Washington, the black caucus that's supposed to be representing some black people, right? Why is black attached to caucus? Am I the only one thinking about that? But I mean, I've said it in videos before, but I'm giving you something that make you go, Go look at the etymology of caucus. All right? I'm going to just give you a synopsis or paraphrase what it means. Caucus means elder. Okay? An elder or a chief, I think chief elder or something like that. Okay? In the Algonquin language. So the black caucus know that they are aboriginals, but yet still they have our people calling themselves black. But let me ask you a question. How many of us are actually holding them accountable? How many of us are actually writing letters? How many of us are actually asking for sit downs and asking them, well, why is that? And asking questions and holding them liable? How many of us sending letters to radio stations? We are not going to listen to that type of music you're playing anymore. How many of us are sending letters to BET? How many of us are doing that? How many of us are writing to your congressmen and your congresswomen? We are not black. Take that out, okay? And let us replace that with what we want, because the people have the power. How many of us are actually exercising that power? You know why you know why we don't have a voice? Is because you are black and you are African American. So you are not considered to be one of we the people. It's only we the people have a say. I'm just saying. So when things are not happening for us, we have to take the responsibility, okay, and be able to respond to what's happening in our lives, because we are the ones that's allowing it to happen, okay? We are the ones that's allowing it to happen, because every other ethnic group, they know how to come together. They know how to commune. It doesn't mean that they like each other. No, some of them really literally don't like each other. But they know they have to work together for the common good. A lot of our people don't think that way. If it's always about I, at some point, that gotta hurt. Okay? It gotta hurt sometimes. Because if somebody, I mean, when I was in the islands, right, we used to play a game when I was little. I would walk around and pinch my cousins, and they would say I, right? And so we would do something like this: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and pinch them, and they would say I. You know what I mean? The point I'm trying to make is sometimes I could hurt. All right, it's painful sometimes, but we still pushing the narrative of I because we just want to do it alone. Let me tell y'all something, right? The mindset of a lot of our people, they would rather cut their nose to spite their face. What does that mean? It means that they would rather see themselves do bad instead of working together with you and see you do good. I don't think y'all heard me. Because I mean, if y'all heard me on that one, definitely that love button should have been going off right now. Okay, because I don't do this for love, for the likes. I do it for the love, because I love my people. You see what I'm saying? And I'm going to repeat that again. A lot of our people, right? They would rather do bad, right, than to come together with you and have both of y'all do good. That's the mindset of a lot of our people because they are so evil, okay? So evil that they're like, you know what? Man, if me and Chief Kalinago come together, I know this week we could make about $5,000. But because I want to make sure he don't have 2,500 for himself, I would rather not get with him so he could get half of the 25 and I get 25. A lot of our people would rather not get a red cent than rather come with me and work with me and make 2,500. They make 2,500 and we all good. They would rather stay broke. That is the mentality of some of our people. You know what I'm saying? So let me ask you a question. How many other ethnic groups practice that mindset? Because you know what? They know that this is not their home, so they come with a purpose. Okay? And I could show you again, differentiate, right? Another reason how you know that it's not going to take a scientist to figure this out. Okay, you don't have to be a scholar to figure this out. Another reason how you know we are actually indigenous to this land and this is our home is because what? Very, very simple, all right? Process of elimination, right? Take away all the other ethnic groups, all of them that we know for a fact that are not from here. What they do? They all come with a purpose. They all come with a plan. They all come with something to get something to take back where they came from. But guess what? The people that belong to this land, we have nowhere to go. So we are comfortable. We are complacent. You see what I'm saying? So it's not going to take long to even think. Come on. I didn't have to do no big genealogy search for that. I didn't have to read no big books for that. Just by thinking, using your own mind, you know that there is something about us here that's different because everybody else get a chance to be successful. Everybody else get a chance to open up a gas station, a corner store, a business. All right? Even Africans, real Africans, okay, who are Africans. Well, if they're real Africans, duh, Chief. If they're Africans, they're real Africans. But you get what I'm saying, right? Real Africans come here. And although they are telling us we are Africans, how come we don't get the same opportunities than the real Africans who come here, but yet still they tell us we are Africans? You see, we have to start thinking outside the box, right? Now, Nigerians are Nigerians. Ghanaians are Ghanaians. You have people from Senegal, they're Senegalese, right? You have people from Ethiopia, they're Ethiopians, right? So they have always been who they are. Italians being Italians. How is that we here, we got to be black, African American, colored, Negro, nigger, Afro colored, all type of different names. Why is that? Those things alone could tell you that something is not coherent. Something is right. Something ain't right. Period. Something is wrong. Okay? So all I'm just saying is, man, we got a lot of work to do. And we can't spend too much time fighting each other, man. You got to give that up. All right? We in 2019, brothers and sisters. 2020 is around the corner. They lock in this new contracts. They're about to make sure that they slap it on in the faces of the people. Just recently, okay, the Supreme Court literally, I think either they passed the law already that by 2020, 22 million birth certificates have to say African American. Brothers and sisters, what are we doing? Who's making those decisions? That's affecting our lives, and we don't have a say about that. Because our people are just nonchalant. You know what? Whatever they say, go. Well, they say with this, all right, I'm that today. Well, tomorrow you purple, all right. Purple lives matter. Okay, tomorrow you orange. Oh, orange lives matter. Then 2 months later, we yellow. Yellow lives matter. Oh, hold up. We can't take yellow because that was supposed to be the Asians, right? But you don't hear Asians going around talking about, well, yellow lives matter. You don't hear that, do you? And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just speaking facts. So why are we trying to be colors in a crayon box? Why? Come on, man. And I'm not upset. I'm just passionate. I speak with a passion, okay, because I have a love for us. That's just what it is. You feel me? So at the end of the day, man, you know, we gotta do better, man. You know, there we go. We've been conditioned not to trust each other, man. That's a fact. You know, that's just what it is. And we have to get over that fear of trusting each other again. You know what I mean? And here's for me, right? I'm not saying just open up your mind and your heart to just anybody. I would never suggest that, because you have to protect your energy, right? But for me, it's like this, right? If I have 12 siblings, right? You know, whether it may be girls and boys, I don't care. But I have 12 siblings, and I'm getting ready to open up a business. And I open up a business, and one of my brothers or my sisters is always taking money from the register, right? Now, I wouldn't like that. I don't condone that. I might get upset, right? But the truth is, I would rather my brother or my sister rob me than having somebody else come into my business and rob me. At least I know it's going to them. I will find some way to break even, okay? But when you have other people robbing you, and and to me, I look at it from that perspective. I rather take a chance with my own, okay, and deal with them, regardless of what people say. Oh, we can't deal with each. I don't care. I rather take a chance until I find the right people that I could build with. That's just me, because I don't think we should give up on each other. I don't think we should give up on us. Okay, that's what they want us to do. Let us not give up on us. All right? And trust me, it's not going to take a lot of money for us to come together, because our ancestors did it without money. Even when they didn't even know the value they had in gold and silver. Okay? They did it through what? Crowdfunding. You feel me? And when I say funding, in other words, bartering. Okay? I got apples, you got oranges. I give you apples, you give me oranges. And guess what? We both got apples and oranges. But nowadays, no. Every one individual, you want all the apples, you want all the oranges, while your brother or your sister cannot even get a squeeze of lemon juice. And then you skin up your face. Oh, look at her and her children. No, the baby father in there. Why? Have you ever called that sister and say, sis, I know what you're going through. Is there anything I could do for you? Would you like me to babysit for you one weekend? Take a break, sis. Okay? Me and a couple of my friends, you know, we're going to take you to the spa. You know what I mean? When's the last time you went on a vacation, my sister? We don't have much, but, you know, if you could get a little money, all right, you pay for the hotel, we'll pay for the flight. Or we can't send you on a vacation, but you know what we're going to do? We know you got 5 children. We're going to take 3 of them and babysit for you this weekend. You know what? We're going to take the 5. Just relax, chill at home for once. Get some time to yourself. Do we do that for our people? And I'm not just going to talk about the sisters. How many brothers, all right, that see single women? There's no fathers in the home, all right? Step up to a little shorty and say, hey, you know what? I know your pops are not around, but, you know, if you need some advice, come talk to me. Without looking at the mother as an asset, but just doing it because you want to see that young man or that young sister do good or be good. How many of us do that? Every time we do a good deed, there doesn't always have to be an interior motive. Why can't we do it just because we love us? Why do we always have to want something in return? Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying people shouldn't be compensated for their services. I'm not saying that. All right? But sometimes there has to be some type of a deed of kindness. All right? We have to start being kind to each other again, man. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe I don't know if I'm asking too much. But at some point, we have to start doing something different, because what we've been doing is not working. Okay? And we have to start calling out these people, all right, that's putting us in this box, in a status of being dead. We got to call them out. We have to start changing things around, and it takes us to do it. Nobody's going to do it for us. We have to take the responsibility and do it. Okay? Responsibility. Response is to break it up. Response ability, the ability to respond to your actions and deal with the consequences. You feel me? Because if we didn't listen to the music that they're making, guess what? It's supply and demand. If there's no demand, there's not going to be a supply. You see, you have to comprehend and understand commerce. Okay? So if we're not supporting the music, they're not going to make the music. Okay? If all the shows that's calling our people Black and African American, we stop watching them, we start giving them bad ratings, guess what? They're going to start changing that. Why don't we have an indigenous program on BET right now? How many of us are rallying for that? But no, we're on Facebook all day, every day. Okay? We're the first ones here. Okay? Africa is this. America is this. Man, listen, who cares? We all are from Earth. The last time I checked. Okay? So, I really don't want people to say, well, Chief, you're contradicting yourself. No, that's not what it means. I'm just saying, let's look at the bigger picture. Okay, we know this is us. We know we've been here. Yes, we know that. So now what's next? How do we get the respect that we so deserve in our own land? Why do we have all these immigrants coming here disrespecting us, turning up their noses at us, but you coming here to get opportunities? At some point, we got to stand for something, or we always going to fall for anything. All right? So I hope I made some type of sense, in this, little build, and I missed about 8 minutes. Anything we can do now about our status now? What can I do tomorrow to change my status? Well, brothers and sisters, some certain things, I'm saying, that we have to do, because it's okay due to poor connection. Now it's telling me. All right, so now it's telling me I have a poor connection. I tell you, man, it's always something with these people. You know what I mean? Always something with these people. Always something with them. Give me a second. Let me see if I could connect to my hotspot real quick, because I know what it is. I know what they're always doing. Whenever I'm about to drop something, they're always doing that. All right, give me a second. I'm gonna try to see if I could connect to my hotspot real quick. Come on. It's trying to connect to my hotspot. All right, let me see if I can connect to my hotspot.